welcome everyone to the Circle Debate Podcast, episode 104. 104, ladies and gentlemen. This is the host, Devious One Ives here, and with me, Familia Faction. That's right, the greatest faction of all time from the League of Extraordinary Podcast and the COD family. But we'll go ahead and introduce Mr. Encyclopedia of Professional Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. He is the ace, and because he is...
Just like Bill Watts, Eddie Graham, Vince McMahon, and Vern Gagne.
He is that.
Professional wrestling, bigger than Hackenschmidt, bigger than Gotch, bigger than Thez, bigger than Flair, bigger than Hogan, bigger than Moxley, bigger than
Keep going! Keep going!
Tonight, but we're going to run out of airtime.
Bigger than Ibushi!
God, I love this. Bigger than Ibushi.
And he is bigger than Ibushi.
Keep going!
Ladies and gentlemen, we go ahead and introduce Mr. MGC, Mr. 69, Matty Tanahashi. Go, Ace. Go, Ace. I already know.
Aishtemaz.
Aishtemaz is right.
Yeah.
And of course, my brother, of course, from another mother, from, of course, one of the phenomenal podcasts of all time, because, like I said, man, the intro speaks for itself.
You're going to see some serious shit.
That's right, because it takes you back in time to the Attitude Era, to the WCW era, to the Ruthless Aggression era, to ECW era, especially. Ladies and gentlemen,
To the Point of Hills Mall.
To the Point of Hills Mall. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome Mike De Niro from the Wrestling Delorean Podcast. What's going on, brother? Welcome back, man.
Thank you very much, man. I'm glad to be back. I appreciate you guys always showing love. This is my third week in a row, I believe, and every single time I appreciate it more and more. Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Might as well come more often with us, man. This is a good time when we speak some wrestling up in here. Mm-hmm. But man, what a week of professional wrestling here in the West Coast. Oh, wait a minute. I had to bring this individual in. El Director. Hey. El Director, the director, ladies and gentlemen, who directs you to actually hear on Circle Debate. And it directs you with that. And Jesus Christ.
It's too bright. Holy shit.
We all just look like white orbs in the background.
We're white orbs in real life.
We're ghosts.
And of course, he directs you especially to go see. That's right. You got to catch the director, ladies and gentlemen.
You got to put Mutation on there, man. Go find the lyric video for Mutation. That's the new one.
I'll put it up. Absolutely, I will.
Mutation's the shit. I love that one too. That's a good one. That's an oldie. That was last October or some shit.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. So let's get into it. Before, like I said, it was a hell of a week of pro wrestling. But let's get into overall with double.
Yeah, man. I heard Raw actually really wasn't that good.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I heard things. Things.
The promos were pretty boring, right?
Oh man. I don't even know what's going on in Raw right now. I'm sorry. Like I've gone. Like I'll come back for sure. Like I definitely don't like go forever. I always come back eventually, but it's got to do something that's like this catches my attention. It doesn't insult, I guess, my intelligence or the creativity of the product.
Chris, are you quoting Vince McMahon? We're tired of insulting your intelligence. Remember, we'll be on days of your lives.
If he said that, then that was an accident, I promise.
Well, let's get into Double or Nothing and let's recap it overall, man, because we haven't given our thoughts.
Let me go bring up that card so I can remember what happened.
Man,
it's gonna be a couple pages.
It's gonna be a couple pages, man.
But I made Double or Nothing. All right, I got it.
All right, so I'm gonna take it away.
I pulled the wiki up and it helps out.
There you go. Let's take it away with Mr. De Niro. Give us your thoughts overall of AEW Double or Nothing event.
I really enjoyed Double or Nothing. It was a long show, right? It was a lot of matches, but you're paying about like $50 for the show. So, I mean, you're getting your money's worth. That's the one thing. Like a lot of people, they look at it as, oh, the show's so long. You're definitely getting your money's worth. There's WWE pay-per-views where it doesn't even end. If you remember, like the 3-hour pay-per-views, it would end at like 2 hours and like 40 minutes. They wouldn't even go to like the full 3 hours. Yeah. AEW makes sure that they have every second filled with action for their pay-per-views. I can't complain. I enjoyed it. The main event definitely was a great matchup. A lot of good action. Matches that people, weren't happy were like last minute like additions. Like I saw a lot of people complaining about Darby Allin and Kyle O'Reilly being a last minute addition. Even that really succeeded my expectations. Great matches.
Did something get canceled and that replaced it, or did they just have enough time to add that?
No, they just added it. It was like 13 matches altogether. It was crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely. It was like 13 matches.
Counting the buy-in, which I did watch because they don't put scrubs on buy-ins. They put people that matter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't want no scrubs, Chris.
Like TLC.
That was my TLC shirt yesterday.
Oh, man. But yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Mr. Matt Callis, what are your thoughts?
All right. So we always say this, we're not AEW marks. This is actually my more of my least favorite AEW pay-per-views. I'll call this, I'll use this meme. When you go to McDonald's and your parents say, "Come on, parents, let's go to McDonald's," and they're like, "No, we have food at home." I call this podcast the AEW We Have Food at Home podcast.
We have McDonald's at home. Yeah.
we have food at home. We have food at home. I think like I was expecting like several run-ins. I think we've been spoiled, a little bit in the past pay-per-views. Yeah. There's a lot of missed opportunities for, what with Forbidden Door looming overhead. There's a lot of missed opportunities. I was expecting Bullet Club to come in. I was expecting CM Punk to join Bullet Club. I was expecting Hangman to turn heel. I was expecting Christian to turn heel. I was expecting somebody to run in. The most we got was Roosh and Athena. I love them plenty. We haven't seen a Roosh match yet. But overall, I think CM Punk was driving the car and he had the belt with him and is like, "Can we have Bullet Club CM Punk?" And CM Punk's like, "We got Bullet Club at home." Or something like that. We're going home. We got Bullet Club at home. So I'm gonna give this a C-.
Wow.
I'm gonna give it a C-.
But with that being a measuring stick, there is a double or nothing that exists to you that you would give an A+, and you are measuring this, and you're measuring this versus that. Okay.
And I was at that first double or nothing too.
So the very first one was the last time they did an A+?
No, I wouldn't say the last time. I know you're talking about other double or nothings or pay-per-views and all.
Well,
double or nothing pay-per-view.
If you were to pick the best double or nothing to compare this to, obviously this would be the C to it.
Yeah, I'd give it to the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest,
yeah. No worries, that's fair.
All right, director, take it away.
I enjoyed the card. It closed a lot of angles. A lot of storylines were closed. In my opinion, that needed to be closed. The Wardlow thing, I'm glad. I'm not glad it's over. I mean, in a bad way. I'm glad that it's over. Now I'm curious what's next. We did not get that question answered on Dynamite, which in a way it's a good thing because they're not rushing new angles. I'm going down the list. It finally happened in the best possible way. And like I said, what are you going to do? The same thing you did to Alexa Bliss, just take the cheerleader and put her in black, and they did it. And Julia Hart is now out of black. And as soon as the lights went off, I knew it. I don't know if anybody had any other suspicions. I don't know if some kid at home's like, "It's Bray Wyatt" or some shit. I knew it was Julia Hart, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. But her standing there waiting to spray Pac was great.
Coffee again. Once again, liquid coffee. Alexa Bliss has the coffee out her forehead. Julia has the coffee coming out her mouth.
This is a legit faction that I'm very excited to be a fan of, for sure. I follow Black Mask Clothing, which is Malachi Black's clothing line, and it's a lot of good stuff. Like, I can't wait to see what they do when they finish their angle with Penta and everybody, which I think is still going on. What else can I talk about? I love the Stadium Anarchy Stampede. The shit's about to hit the fan. Justin Roberts starting the match with that.
I love that, man.
That beautiful line. Like,
only AEW.
The Dapper Yapper, yeah. And I love that match. I love to connect that point. The amount you and I were old school ECW fans, so I love the amount of shoot swearing that was allowed on this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
it started, to be fair, it started with, like, Tay Conte. She said, like, motherfucker during her match. to Paige. I think she was like, "Come on, motherfucker!" I was like, "Yeah!" And then to hear Daniel Bryan say, "Here's where I kick his fucking face in."
I love that.
The fan. I know it's like dirty pops, but I'm into it because I never thought Daniel Bryan would be a guy to even say this swear word in his personal life, let alone, in a character like that. And it was great. It was a good match. It may not be the best Stadium Stampede style match, but it's definitely the most gruesome for sure. Eddie Kingston stole it with his bloody zombie walk of gasoline. I definitely didn't think he would light anybody on fire, but I mean, we've seen Terry Funk do it to Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy.
When he was Chainsaw Charlie, you mean, right?
No. So Terry.
The Super Leather or Leatherface or whatever.
Leatherface, yeah. So they've definitely, I think, pretty sure let themselves on fire. They've at least had a fireworks match, so it's possible. But I mean, even Tommy Dreamer taking a 3D through a flaming table, shit like that. It's possible to do it. But he was dumping jerry cans all over the ring. I'm like, that's you're not saving lives with that. That was definitely probably just water, which I'm all good.
Also, not to cut you off, but while we're paying homage to ECW, shout out to them playing the Wild Thing song for most of the match, kind of like New Jack's match. That was awesome.
With NWA, which I love. And funny fact is, New Jack, rest in peace, motherfucker, miss that guy.
For real.
He had a contract essentially where he wouldn't wrestle unless the song was playing. That was if the song's not playing, I'm not playing. I'm not fighting, and that was with him everywhere.
He wanted it to look like a fight scene from a movie.
Yeah, he even carried that. I've literally was at I don't know how far forward you go from ECW, but to XPW when he fought Big Grimes in the scaffolding match.
You were there when he.
I was working for XPW essentially when that happened.
Wow.
So I was gorilla position, sort of where the ramp is, but outside watching it, when that happened and the music was playing, and obviously Big Grimes almost died, and that was the intention. That's a different list. But to be standing basically backstage while that music's blasting, and I'm 16 marking out, even though it was cool. Yeah. Back to your point, to have Wild Thing play the whole time. That's how those kind of matches need to play themselves out. The 6-man tag or 3-way tag, whatever that was really good. I didn't think Jungle Express were going to keep it, but it was very convincing way. Swerve taking the snare trap. That was sick. I definitely thought that Swerve and Lee were going to take that. I don't know who they're going to lose it to, but someone mentioned a minute ago the Christian Cage heel turn is happening because we saw a little dissension when he told Jungle Express to not shake the Hardy Boys' hands at Dynamite. There's a little something going on there.
Please.
Hardcore
overdue.
Because I gotta be patient. I gotta be patient. Good things come to those who wait.
Absolutely.
Real quick, back to the Jericho match. As I was watching it, I was just so blown away. If you count, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 former WWE heavyweight champions in that match. 4 out of the 12 or 6? 4 out of the 6, something like that. Yeah, the only people that weren't, 4 out of the 12, I think is what it was. That's crazy that they're doing this kind of match and not WWE. Anyways, that was just a little cool realization. Yeah. Main event match. I hope this isn't the best match these two can put together. It was a good match. It wasn't. I said this, I think, against Kenny Omega and Hangman as well, that it wasn't the best match I hope they can put together. I hope they're saving that for a later date, unless Hangman is so good at being just good enough. It was not the best title match. The momentum was kind of weird. It wasn't bad. It wasn't full of botches. It wasn't the spot fest like Kenny Omega.
2 botches, though.
Oh, okay. I guess there might have been 2 that I didn't notice. Good on me.
Oh, CM Punk attempting to do the Hangman's finisher and
the buckshot.
Yeah,
did he fuck that up?
Oh. Yeah, he fucked it up.
The bot shot.
The bot shot.
Bot shot, Larry.
Bot shot, you already got it. Bot shot, you already put it on.
To be fair, man, it's a tricky move, and CM is. So I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking shit on the match. I just think that these two, they're dynamic, or maybe Adam Page may not be as good as I thought he was, or I don't know. I'm trying to find a respectful way to say that he's great, or he's really good but not great. But I thought Page was going to keep the title. I would like to have seen Paige win that because I'd like to have had them establish the first homegrown champion, run through a bigger list of contenders to really establish him, because a lot of people still did doubt him as champion. I mean, if he was anywhere else, you would consider him the Dolph Ziggler of the company, just a really good intercontinental champion, but kind of a gatekeeper. I think Paige is definitely better than that, and I'd like to have him gone through at least 2 or 3 more people. Like go through CM last weekend, maybe like a mid-card defense like Darby on a Dynamite, and then one more big name, maybe Joe or some shit like that, and then lose it to someone, that makes, like Daniel Bryan. That would have been chef's kiss. That way he lost the belt, but you established that he deserved to have it. I don't know if the fans are going to take him championship serious just yet.
Yeah.
I love it.
There you go. I do love it. It was great overall.
Yeah, I'd say B- at best. And that's not because it's bad, but that's because if I compare it against an A+, that's where it sits.
Well, agreed.
I like the exclusion of run-ins and weird surprises. We had that last year with Adam Cole and Daniel Bryanson jumping in. Like, we don't need that every time. We don't need a bunch of dirty finishes. We don't need a bunch of run-ins or interruptions. We don't need surprises. Good, clean fun, or dirty fun, I guess, in Jericho's case.
Yeah,
I'd say we've been spoiled a bit. I'll say we've
been
spoiled
a
bit. Yeah.
I didn't see the Athena thing happening. I guess I wasn't paying attention to the dirt sheets.
No,
that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't see it reported anywhere.
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. And I'm glad that it wasn't, and I'm happy that she, her to be not part of AEW. I think her itself will elevate the women's division, and I'm glad to see now, right, having a program now working with Cargill and the Baddies. Love it. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, she's already making more money than MJF.
Oh, we'll get into that. Too soon. Yeah, we'll get into that. But overall, the pay-per-view itself, it was a very long time. I would say, at least 4, or at least from 5 o'clock. Well, we can say from 4 to 9:40. So it was you had a 5 hours and 40 minutes of nothing but 13 matches. And then, of course, the debut of Danhausen going to buy in. His pay-per-view debut, Hook, seeing Athena as well, and also, credit to Thunder and Serena. That match was solid too. I knew it was going to be a storytelling, and the way how they did it in the beginning was great. I enjoyed that. Matt and I, because Matt was here watching it with me here barbecuing, and I was pissed that Jurassic, Jungle Express, retained, because we were actually looking forward to seeing Ricky Starks and Power,
it seemed like the time.
Mm-hmm. And that match to be the co-main event for the show. Whoever booking decision was TK most likely. For me, it was a good idea, and I'm glad it worked out. I think it did, having those tag team, the tag team to be the co-main event for the main event. It definitely did, because it had everybody like, oh my God, who are you gonna lose? Oh, we're all like wishing, hoping, and then
those near falls at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
There was so many 2.99 calls that any one of them. I almost felt like the ref botched a couple of those. I'm like, that was a 3. Holy shit.
I feel like the crowd did too, because at one point, I think when Swerve and Keith hit their finisher, like the crowd was booing after the near fall.
Like the powerbomb stomp, which is a sick finisher. I love that.
I think the crowd was booing just because they thought it was 3 as well, and they thought the referee probably messed up or something. But it was so close. And
then Punk winning, I was not happy, of course, because I wanted Hangman to retain. I want him to shock the world, stating, "Look, I beat 2 of your former Ring of Honor and WWE guys."
Yeah, I'm not hating CM Punk having the belt. I was just pro the development of Hangman.
Yeah, absolutely. And then hearing the post conference, Jesus Christ, I've never heard TK go off on that post conference.
Fucking bullshit.
That's fucking bullshit. What Eric Bischoff was saying, because I guess Eric Bischoff tweeted saying that CM Punk is a financial flop to the pro wrestling industry, and that's what TK went off. That's fucking bullshit. Like, oh my God, I never see TK go off.
Was he saying it was bullshit what Bischoff said, or it's bullshit that, okay, it's not bullshit that CM has the belt? Because, okay.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to me who had. It didn't matter. Doesn't matter to me who has the belt. It just mattered to me who that one of them didn't come out being as long as we didn't have two baby faces at the end of the match. You know, I wanted there to be some evil to infect one of them. I wanted one of them to turn to the dark side. Like Palpatine should have just showed up and like, yes, let the hate flow through you.
Kenny Omega would have been. Kenny would have been great if he showed up and then tell Hangman, "Do it, use it, do it,
use it, use the belt,
use the belt."
And, like I'm okay with either Hangman retaining it or Punk getting it as long as one of them turns heel. Like even if Punk overcame Hangman despite cheating, as long as Hangman came out a bad guy or CM Punk came out a bad guy, as long as somebody turns evil. But you know, I guess they're doing something different with the storyline, and I'll just be happy to see where it goes. And I'll get to what my theory is once we start covering Dynamite.
Yes, absolutely. But you know, overall with this pay-per-view, I do give it an A. Give it an A because it was great. Was it better than the other ones? Possibly so, yes, but it was just overwhelming with a lot of professional wrestling. Jesus, but I enjoyed the shit out of it. Of course, with the main event, you know, it was a 25-minute match. I enjoyed it as well. I just wish the Hangman would have kept it, because now the biggest question is, now what do you do with CM Punk? You know, like how the director mentioned. So what's going to be next? I know right now they're focusing on Forbidden Door, but
we'll get to that. But A+ they got behind the wheel of that marketing machine.
Absolutely, yes, I agreed, and that's a great smart move. Yes, because you need to build at this, you know, and that's the first ever New Japan, you know, relationship and an event alongside with them. So they need to start building it now, because we're already in June as we speak. So we got a couple weeks for them to actually, you know, build up the card. But we'll get into that. But after that, who do you book with Punk though? Do you see a rematch coming? So, Dinero, do you feel like a rematch is coming?
I don't know. It's tricky. I feel like you kind of have to do a rematch just because, like Chris was saying, like, I hope that wasn't their best match. I think they could put on a better matchup. But yeah, right now it's hard to really say. Like, I know Wardlow came out on Dynamite and it showed that he was number one in the rankings. And it's like, do you pull the trigger on Wardlow versus CM Punk right away? I doubt it, because Wardlow can't afford to lose right now, and CM Punk is not losing the title anytime soon. Right. Who's ready right now? Who's ready for that spot? It's interesting. I don't know where you go from here. Especially after the pay-per-view, because right now we know who he's going against at the pay-per-view, the next one. But like, who in AEW is ready to have a title shot?
Baby, is that what you're going?
I don't want to bring up the rankings, not only in conversation, but I don't want to go look at them. But it only makes sense that the guy that just won a tournament against every other heavyweight in the company, besides Wardlow, essentially, would be high up on that list. Yeah, I don't know why. Essentially, Wardlow would be up there, I guess, because he beat MJF. He doesn't really have like a big list. Like CM Punk does not have a list of wins over contenders. He, like I said in the promo last week, was only beating singles tag wrestlers, like Dante Martin, shit like that, like kids who were. I don't know how that got him to number one in a logistical sense, not in a pro wrestling sense, but in a like if you're in the NFL and you're playing against some pony leagues, you don't get to go to the Super Bowl. That's kind of what that felt like.
What is going on? Alex and Richard Bott, the championship on the line. We'll be seeing you guys next week for the MMA episode, because the UFC event is coming.
Week. Finally. Fucking title match.
Oh, man, I can't wait. But
yeah, so as far as, Adam Cole makes enough sense. That would be a good promo. I'd like to see the shit talk between them. I don't know. If we can move him away from the Death Triangle angle, Malachi Black would be fantastic. He can take the loss.
I like that.
Take the loss. CM can go through everybody, get his ass beat, and then somehow pull out an upset win, which, in my opinion, it would be an upset for the champ to win, which is a rare thing, but a good story to tell. I would like that. That's where I would lay my chips down on that, pun intended.
I like that idea too, especially if AEW is not coming out with trios titles. If that's not the titles that they're talking about as the new titles, then I think it's time that Malachi Black starts going and pursuing a singles title, while maybe Buddy and Brody pursue the tag titles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love that, man. That's
because we know that the TNT title is like totally tied up amongst SCU, so it's like that program is definitely going to last a while.
That is
Wonderful.
That's right. That is wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. And now it's time to get in it, man. Let's get into Dynamite. That is right, Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen.
Perfect.
Yes, I'm so glad you got him.
Of course, I had to get it. Of course, a brief recap for AEW Dynamite. Now, so we had FTR, CM Punk versus Ass Boys and Max Caster. Man, look,
let's just say real quick that private party that Max Caster's in.
No, the Acclaim.
The Acclaim. Sorry. I knew that. The Acclaim has arrived. They are going over. They are definitely going to face through heels. They killed it last night. LA was loving it.
I loved it. Oh wait, hold on, shit.
I love it.
There you go. I was there. You know, I was in the crowd. I was like, oh my god,
felt it. You felt it,
dude. I felt it. Yeah, we were all going Ass Boys.
Yeah. So they're definitely going to be their money straight up. They're going to be probably one of the most famous tag teams in the not just company but in the world very soon.
Oh man, I agree. Yes, because you know why? Because it is
Such good shit.
It is good shit, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is.
Must see TV for sure.
Yeah.
Like if you tune in to see how good the shit talking is going to be.
As soon as you hear the beat drop and you hear Max Caster, yow!
Yeah.
And then, of course, after the match, we did have CM Punk calling out, so, okay, Forbidden Door. Nice little cut. What do you got for me? And, of course, this man comes out. That's right. That individual comes out. And Matt Callis, when he saw that, he went. Yes, he did. And yes, he did. Oh, my God. It was
wonderful.
It was wonderful. There you go. Matt Callis, I'm taking you because this is your boy. This is your guy, the ace of professional wrestling. Give us your thoughts that we are now going to see the first match. Tanahashi with CM Punk. Talk to us about it.
You know, so what I was saying earlier about CM Punk, especially with the title and who his next competitor will be, other than Tanahashi, if he retains, there's so many other pay-per-views close together in this time period. So Punk's gonna need a lot of stamina because we've got Fight for the Fallen, we have Fighter Fest, we have Fight for the Fallen, we've got Death Before Dishonor with Ring of Honor. I don't know if he's going to defend it there. If he drops it, he might have to try to get it back in Japan. Yeah, I mean, there's Dominion, there's All Out, there's so many different things like going on at the same time, like going on, like that could tie into it. You know, there's the New Japan Cup. You know, I think later on the J Cup. There's way too many things. And let's see, like, does he have to defend it at those next three? I'm pretty sure he's gonna, at least the next three AEW. I'm not so sure about the Ring of Honor one. Now, Tanahashi, it's very special that they picked him. And I think I know why it's Tanahashi. Yeah, so yeah, he's not at Dominion.
One on Dan, Cage My HQ. Make sure you subscribe to them as well. Man. But yes, he's right. Dan is right. He's a good point. Yes, she wanted. Okay. Now we know.
Some people going into the grinder, but I think the other thing is Tanahashi's probably helping out at the New Japan LA dojo as well. You know, him and Shibata are probably because him and Shibata do commentary for Japanese commentary for New Japan Strong. And in addition to that, I think Tanahashi in particular, he's not because Okada's wrapped up with Jay White right now in that feud, so Tanahashi's a little bit more free to do more things, and he kind of, I think he's more than earned the title shot because he's faced a lot of AEW guys throughout its run. You know, he's faced Jericho, he's faced Moxley, he's faced Kenny, he's faced like a lot of people. You know, I'm pretty sure at some point he's faced Hangman, probably in the G1 or had one-on-one. Yeah.
What's going on, Brian Cook? Welcome back to the show. I'm so happy to see Ace appear. Dynamite. I thought of something. How cool would it be to see an AEW wrestler take part of the G? Of course.
I think we'll definitely see that this year.
I think we will. I think, and I have a feeling, and I hope it does. Please make it happen, Wrestling Gods. Brian Danielson.
I was going to say, I think Brian Danielson really wants to do a G1, at least once.
Yes.
So many matches with him.
We just had Wheeler Yuta in the Best of Super Juniors. We had Moxley already. Even said they weren't hiding him backstage and he was mingling with all the talent. Yeah, he's very beloved, like a great teacher to them all. And Zack Sabre Jr. That's the one we're waiting for.
That's the one that we're waiting for, man.
I think Forbidden Door, especially this one, Tanahashi's not only earned it, but I think I'd be okay. I wouldn't be surprised if he does take the title at Forbidden Door. I know it doesn't seem likely. CM Punk said, I don't know if somebody heard through the grapevine that CM Punk's not expecting a long reign. You know, I wouldn't be mad if Tanahashi took the title so soon, because for somebody who's held the IWGP Heavyweight title 8 times and defeated Kenny Omega and faced several AEW champions in the past, he's definitely very believable as somebody who just take it like that. You know,
it would get the people buzzing.
Yeah. Get everybody talking.
All right, De Niro, your thoughts?
First I gotta say, CM Punk the little like sloppy and tired in this matchup with FTR. I feel like CM Punk it might be catching up on him a little bit. He may need a couple weeks off, which is a horrible time to put the title on him. But yeah, I saw the same thing. Like he was moving a little slow at the pay-per-view, and then he was even moving more slower here. He slipped off the rope at one point when he went for the springboard. He definitely seems like he needs to take like a little, like maybe like a week or two off. Kind of like what they're doing with Jeff Hardy. You know, Jeff Hardy's all banged up, so they took him off of the show. Punk needs to have like a week off because he is, 43, and he's been wrestling almost every week now. So at a high level, he was just on the pay-per-view main event, and then he's opening up the show just a couple days later. So I think that Punk now could take maybe like a week or two off, build up to the Tanahashi match with promos. He doesn't have to be wrestling. As for Tanahashi and CM Punk, I think it's a dream match. For sure it's a dream match. Especially like if you think about like CM Punk's like legacy, he was always like anti-establishment. Like when he was going against John Cena, it was the Rebel versus the franchise. I always looked at Tanahashi as New Japan's John Cena. He not as in like wrestling style, but as in like star power. So this is kind of like it's reminiscent to that John Cena feud he had. He's going against the ace of New Japan. And when you think of like New Japan in like the last 2 decades, Tanahashi has been a guy who's been on top of the card and maybe one of the most well-known, besides probably like Okada, one of the most well-known Japanese wrestlers in the United States. So you need a big name like that to be main eventing the card against your biggest star. So I think it's perfect. I love it.
There you go. Yes, absolutely. Director.
I kind of feel like CM Punk has sort of always kind of looked like he needs a nap.
He needs to go to sleep. Right?
Literally. As far as Tanahashi goes, he's going to carry that match for sure. Hopefully he makes CM look good. Cool fact about Tanahashi you may not know is that every anime character that's ever been invented for the past 100 years is based on Tanahashi. So that's one for the noggin.
That's right.
I could throw up one extra fact. Ivan, do we have the picture?
Yes, sir. I'll put it up for you right there.
Yeah. So this band that Tanahashi is in this picture with, they're one of the hugest bands in Japan. They're called GLAY, GLAY, and I guess you could consider them the equivalent of like the Foo Fighters in Japan. Except it's like their sounds like the Beatles meets Iron Maiden. They do a lot of. And Tanahashi's pretty close with them, and it meant a lot to me to see Tanahashi appear in the flesh on Dynamite. So I'm kind of hoping he's like a gateway drug into Japanese rock for many of the people who are looking up for him. Like I even posted it on Twitter as well. And as far as I think this feud's gonna go, if CM Punk retains, I'm pretty sure how they would do it. And yeah, exactly what I was about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. Kenta could probably walk in after this match is over and just immediately attack, and just hit him with his go to sleep. I don't know whose go to sleep came first.
Kenta.
Kenta.
Yeah. It's always been Kenta's. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Kenta's OG go to sleep. And, I think the first one would maybe be like Shibata and CM Punk versus Kenta and Jay White would be like the tag team matchup. And then you could have the one-on-one CM Punk Kenta, maybe at Fyter Fest or something. That would probably be that would make sense as like the main event of that one. Fyter Fest main event, Kenta versus CM Punk. So that would be a good one for it to lead up to.
Yes,
Kenta came first. Much love to Kenta.
See, yes. At first I was like, when I heard the music, and I was looking at I'm looking at the missus, and I'm looking at the guys, and I was like, what? I for a moment I was no. That's how I was like, no. It should have been Okada, damn it, not Tanahashi. But it makes sense after hearing our BFF, Mr. Meltzer, and especially his piece of shit, Alvarez. But it makes sense about having Tanahashi challenging CM Punk for the AEW World title. Now there's rumor in your windows, which is they're saying that it's going to be Okada Hangman Page rumors for the IWGP World Championship. But
they had a great match a couple years ago in New
Yes,
Japan.
they did. Oh man, yes. If you go back to that, ladies and gentlemen, go watch that. That match was very great, fantastic. And then they could deliver a great match, but we don't even know yet because Dominion hasn't happened yet. So we have to wait to see if Okada will still be the IWGP World Champion because it's using Jay White for it. So that's the rumors, and of course, the Forbidden Door the lineup is kept secret. Nobody can know shit about it. So at least these two matches will be announced. We know they already announced the first one, Tanahashi Punk, but eventually they will announce Okada and Hangman Page. But so if Okada retains, then it will be Okada Page for the for the IWGP.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see Okada versus anybody.
Okada's wrestling Tomorrow, then has Dominion next week. Wouldn't be able to build Okada Punk. It makes that's exactly. Exactly. You read my mind then. Yep, I agree. I definitely agree. So,
as much as I would like to see Okada and Punk, I think that would have led to no finish because probably both titles will be on the line. And if that's the case,
sometimes they're not though. Sometimes champion versus champion doesn't mean that the titles are on the line.
That's true. I just think it's more impactful to have an AEW World title on the line and also New Japan IWGP World title on the line in another match. So I think that it just leads the door to more clean finishes on the show.
I would definitely rather have two heavyweight main events than one.
For sure.
Indeed.
Let's not forget there's the Ring of Honor championship as well. That's still in the picture.
That's still, you're right. Jonathan Gresham is still in the picture. So, we'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, this happened right after, and I was there like, what's going on? And I got to say, man, let's see. I think Jay White Hangman will be better. Has a story. Yes, that could be the case, too.
Yeah.
And you might see the civil war between the Elite versus the Bullet Club. So that could happen.
Remember, that's what Jay White said. He said that's what, Forbidden Door is going to be all about, Bullet Club and the Undisputed Elite.
Yes, so that could be the case too. You're absolutely indeed. But yes, this man had
testicles are the size of grapefruits. Whoa!
Yes, he had the balls to do what he did on Dynamite, and I caught the uncensored, of course. But this man dropped one of the biggest pipe bombs of the year.
Tony, don't tell me down, you piece of shit! Shut your mouth! Look at me, Tony. Look at me. I want you to fire me.
Whoo, man. The biggest question is, and there's a lot of concerns, of course. Yeah, I was going to get to that. You just read my mind. Is this a work? And I'll ask, is this a great idea? We've seen this before. All of us have. We've seen it in WCW with the whole Hogan situation. We've seen that happening before. They used that. I think who did WWE use that with? I'm trying to remember. Well, the CM Punk situation, and then so
Paul
now
Heyman, if you remember, Paul Heyman going off on Vince.
Yes, that too. Paul Heyman on Vince.
Even Sammy had a little slip up that was improvised. He got in trouble for, I think, on like Kevin Owens' show or something like that. He said something to the effect of like, "Oh, what am I going to do? Just go work for AEW or something?" And then he got
yeah.
He got like a little backhanded slap backstage, which is
exactly. But the biggest question is, I mean, we know it's a work. I mean, this has to be a fucking work. But is it a great move for them to use the storyline? So I'll take it to you, De Niro. What are your thoughts of this pipe bomb of the year from MJF?
I think 100% it's a great move. Yeah, we all know it's a work. I mean, if you're knowledgeable about like some of the backstage stuff that's going on, there was a meeting between them. It does look like MJF may be getting paid a little bit more now. They worked that out. So, and nonetheless, like he's there till 2024. He's in the contract. He's going to be there. We haven't seen a storyline like this in AEW. This is the first of its kind in AEW, and I think that it's really reminiscent to the Summer of Punk in 2011. It's just that it's funny now that CM Punk is kind of playing that John Cena role where he's the franchise player and MJF is like the begruntled guy with the chip on his shoulder. I think that the only outcome that makes sense with this is for however long it is, not trying to rush anything, but MJF needs to win the AEW title at the end of this storyline. He needs to win. And I think he's going to be the one to take it off of CM Punk. And this is the slow build to that match. Maybe at All Out, maybe at Revolution, but this is the slow build to that match.
I love it.
I know you saw it because you were there live, but there's video of a lot of people posting online. CM Punk came out. That was during the commercial break. CM Punk came out and MJF kind of like left. So it does seem like CM Punk is going to play a role in this whole story.
Absolutely. I got to do that. I had to do that. Yes, because in the end,
we'll make movies.
Because they are making movies. I'll tell you that right now with this. Exactly what you said. Valid everything. Yes, it's on point. And with the whole, especially we mentioned CM Punk. Yeah, CM Punk during the commercial break that came out limping and I was looking for MJF. He's like, what the hell? And I was like, why is he looking for MJF? And exactly what you just mentioned right now, Mike, everything is on valid point. That's why I said it before weeks ago about him doing this ranting. It's going to happen. At All Out, he is going to win the AEW World title. And Punk will drop it to him at Chicago. And I feel that's what's going to happen. I
gotta say this before I forget it, but I think you guys remember the quote from Batman: "You either die a hero or you live long enough to become the villain." To see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
But I'll let whoever go first because I got some other thoughts. I'll add.
Okay, well, take it away. Go for it. I'm done.
Well, I was going to say whoever. Like, if it's not Punk, like, because they can't throw Punk against MJF right away, he could probably interfere. Like, they could interfere in each other's matches while they're building it. You know, have somebody just show their face, like, on the ramp or whatever in the meantime. But whoever is MJF's immediate opponent representing Tony Khan is probably going to be the new top heel. Like, who did Stone Cold have during his run? Like, was it The Rock or was it Triple H? Like, that was.
Where are you talking? Because I got you on this. It was Vince for sure, but it was definitely Austin.
I mean, other than like aside from because Tony Khan can't wrestle, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So who would be like other than Vince? Obviously, who was the
Austin's breakout? Austin's breakout heel face was Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
That was the longest program, starting obviously from like Survivor Series 97, culminating WrestleMania 14 when he won the title. Immediately after that, it was definitely Undertaker, and that lasted all the way till SummerSlam, I believe, where he won that match. Rock won the Intercontinental title. Triple H won the Intercontinental title at that same event. They had a feud, so then it was Austin and, I mean, give or take, the top five at the time were Rock, Triple H, Kane, Undertaker, Mankind. Yeah. So they all had months with Austin.
I gotta play.
So
Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin. It was me all along, Austin.
Oh, son of a bitch.
There you go.
I can't imagine what that's going to be like.
There you go,
like
Brian.
Tony Khan lifts up his hood. It's me, MJF. It was me all along, MJF. You got 7 days, MJF. You got 7 days. Like, but whoever represents Tony Khan is got to be like, you know, their AEW's Triple H or AEW's Rock. Like they got.
Well, MJF may not be there for a while.
That's true.
Sorry about that.
So,
MJF may not be there for a while because they already took him off the roster page. They removed his merchandise store online. I would like to see MJF start showing up in other places and just like talking shit about AEW and Tony Khan. If he's like suspended, yeah.
Man, definitely. You see, but when they cut the commercial, yes, Matt Jackson being at the top of the stage, are they implying? Well, they have to make it seem like it's work because, like, what the hell? Why is this guy's doing so? For Matt Jackson to come, which I missed that. I think I was catching more in the ring, but I missed that. I didn't see Matt Jackson was on the stage, but if he was, I'd be okay. That's interesting. It's going to be interesting because he is EVP. So, if they do go what you said, Mike, that'll be great too. If to see him going different promotions and just bashing AEW. Imagine if Tony Khan gives him permission. Go to Vince. Go to one show. I want you to attend. Oh my God.
That will be huge.
That will be huge if he does that. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
If Vince gives the okay, who do you guys think should be the representative for Tony Khan aside from CM Punk? Like the Tony Khan kind of corporate wrestler to kind of represent. I'm AEW's corporate enforcer, MJF. I need to put you in line. Kenny Omega.
I was going to say Kenny Omega, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah. I mean, maybe Kenny kind of represents.
He needs a lot of time to recover. Commissioner Kenny, if he's got time to recover, but
he can be Commissioner Kenny, absolutely.
Yeah.
Indeed. But director, what was your take?
I enjoyed the promo. You obviously always know that anything that makes it on TV is approved by more than one channel. The CM Punk pipe bomb, that was a complete work. Vince knew what he was going to say. CM acted like he had no permission to go out there. They did the pretend cutting my mic, the pretend switching the channel. It was effective back then. It was more effective back when Austin was doing it. Back when Austin was stunnering security guards, cameramen. Local news was covering Stone Cold Steve Austin like he was going off script and actually assaulting people. They were covering the Mike Tyson situation with him on ESPN like it was a real thing. We're smarter than that now to know. But to play that illusion, and with what MJF was saying, calling the fans marks, not even smart marks, not even smarks, but just marks. And then cheering him when he would do the thing that marks love when you reference other companies or you talk shit about your boss. The irony was that he was proving that he was right the whole time about them being fair weather fans, praising him, talking shit behind his back online, but then cheering him when he's saying whatever they want him to say. So although the promo was scripted and fully permitted by TK, it was funny to see him make fun of the audience to their face and them cheering him for it without even them knowing it. I love that. As far as him going to other companies, I don't think he's going to like walk into fucking SmackDown and be like, this place is better. I don't think he's doing that. Now, there is obviously in the past time like DX went to WCW and other people were like outside of venues. You know, Enzo tried doing it. He bought tickets to like a TNA or something, tried to jump the rail with Cass. There might be a version of that he can do. I don't think he's going up north to do it unless he airs it on like his Instagram, which would be hilarious. Mm-hmm. In fact, that would be probably the right way to do it. Is just be like he's in line trying to go into like a SmackDown or a Raw, and he's like with fans and like talking shit. That would be cool. I don't know. That's a lot of work though. So
I can see him popping up somewhere like Impact though, like Impact allowing him to have like a microphone.
Well, that's the standard now. We know that can happen. That's not like oh shit, he's over in Impact. It's like par.
Maybe go back to MLW. He was in MLW for a while.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is very true.
I do think
like the hottest thing in MLW.
All the points that he made were right. I mean, obviously, him getting paid less than people that have been there shorter because you're a bigger name. The whole ex-WWE guy, him saying WWE, the ratings, like he's number 2 in the ratings always. Like those are all truths. I think we all do those things. So I'm just curious what he's going to do that's going to – something's really bad is going to happen in front of the investors. I want to know what that is.
I know he can't do it at a New Japan event. Well, at least not a New Japan event in Japan, because in Japan you're not allowed to cheer or make any noise. You're only allowed to clap at the moment because of COVID. So that's like – and you won't get that much of a reaction.
Japan is generally is they're quiet until there's something cool, then they clap, and then they're quiet again. Yeah. That's how Pride was. That's how Dream was. K1's like that, obviously.
AAA, I guess AAA would be a big one. Cage My IQ. Yeah, AAA sounds like the biggest other company than New Japan that AW works with that he could appear at.
Yeah, he'll show up on Eric Bischoff's podcast and be like, Bischoff, you're right.
I know, right?
I agree with you.
He should live in 83 weeks, Bischoff. I agree with you.
That'd be smart. That would be real smart.
Punk. Maybe Bischoff should be his manager. That's a good one.
Or Cornette. If he came out with Cornette as a manager or something.
Cornette hates AEW though, so like that would be great. I would love that so bad.
Bischoff or Cornette, maybe both of them. Who knows?
Yeah, I would be into that. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Essentially, MJF is going to need a catalyst. Like he's going to need someone to feud against. Obviously, the CM thing makes sense eventually.
Yeah,
but just not right now.
Yeah, I was thinking way down the line. Yeah,
they in a way wasted all of their storyline already, or they didn't waste it, but they blew through it. You know, they went through their history together, the photo, him looking up to him abandoning him beating him twice in one night in Chicago. Like, I don't know what else they could do besides MJF's just saying, hey, man, I'm the greatest wrestler that's never had any title shot in AEW. And that's a fact. He never has any. He's never been in a title match that I can think of.
Only with Moxley, that was it.
Yeah.
But that was the only match. Yeah, that
was for AEW World title. Yeah. I wanted MJF to win back then because I was tired of Moxley.
I remember that, but that was the one time. And that was
the early stages for MJF, like compared to where he is right now.
Yeah,
I mean, in his career right now with this, I see it all out, man. I think TK will pull it off by All Out and have him beat CM Punk, dethrone him. That's his idol. Yeah. And what best way to do it? But you're right, though. Who do you put him with now with this storyline? Unless they keep him out of Forbidden Door, we don't know what they're going to put him with.
Here's one way to break it down, you guys. Do you think it should be a veteran wrestler who's been around and made his name in WWE, or should it be somebody brand new?
I mean, the point should be made that if he's talking shit on these ex-WWE guys getting paid more, that he should just run through them to prove that he deserves the paycheck.
Maybe Adam Cole, baby. Maybe Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe, or Bryan Danielson. You know,
that'd be a good match too. I think when it does get to CM Punk and MJF, what makes it fresh this time around is I see that this because if you look at the crowd reaction, right? And Ivan, you were there, you could like really discuss this even more. But the crowd started booing him at first. They were chanting, "Shut the fuck up," and then by the end of it, they're on their feet. Right? Yes. I think the fans are going to continue to get behind MJF. So when he is starting to feud with CM Punk, we start to see the crowd turn on Punk and be behind MJF, which is the opposite of what they were last time. So I definitely think that that's probably what's going to happen.
And Punk needs to start acting. Punk needs to start acting like a dick and like start dissing the crowd and be cruel to the babyface opponents. He's got to build, but I think we won't see that until like 2 months later from now.
Or Punk he could just be kissing he could kiss Tony Khan's ass the whole time.
Yep.
And you have MJF be like the rebel just talking shit. People always love the rebel.
Yeah. And he could start a revolution having all the the founding pretty much members of AEW. Hey, what the fuck? You know, we're here. We built this together. Like, the former WWE guys, and, you know, he could go in that direction, too. There's a lot of ways where you could go with these stories.
Yeah, imagine a corporate Jungle Boy.
Wow.
In a ponytail.
In a ponytail.
In a ponytail and a suit.
All
He just goes by Jack.
Jack Perry.
From Studio City, California, Mr. Perry.
He comes out to the 90210 theme. That's Honor is that. Honor is that.
I know.
And then, of course, we had Johnny Elite versus Miro. He's back. Is he gonna have a match with God, or what the hell's gonna happen, man?
Yeah. So he kind of had a whole like, I put my trust and faith in God, and he let me down. And now I'm on a rampage. I'm God now. Kind of love it.
Hell yeah!
I'm glad that he's not the Dave and Buster's heel like he originally was with Kip Sabian. Like when he first came out, like he like belonged in New Day. It wasn't the Miro. I mean, it was cool to see him be
the
himself.
Minnie Mouse shirt.
Yeah.
It was cool to see him be himself, but that's not the Miro character, I guess, to me.
Yeah, I agree. And he may have a match with God. We did see God in the ring before, right?
Yeah, challenged him to a title match.
No, it's definitely cool to see Miro back, though. I think he was definitely missed on this show.
Man, me too. I mean, I was really happy to see him, but then, of course, TK was asking. He said, "I don't trust God now." Like, oh, that's what he said, huh? Jesus.
And goddamn, Jim Ross, can he just chill for a moment? You know, he married well. I'm like, damn, bro. No.
Hey, maybe that means she's on her way. Who knows?
I think so, because she did tweet it.
I would be into that. Yeah.
I thought she was gonna come out with him because of the tweet. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I thought she was gonna come out with him to that day, and I'm like, guess not. But I think we're gonna see her down the road eventually. It's gonna happen. But the question is that
I promise.
Yeah, but who do you book with Miro now? That's the thing now. Now that he's back,
I don't know if I wanted to see Johnny Elite's open challenge be a pseudo squash match either. I mean, Miro definitely coming back would be cool.
Yeah,
but it should be against like fucking Dante Martin or something, like someone who could take the loss, not a guy who's supposed to be in his fourth career resurgence of the decade. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Elite should have had a match against like Del Sol, like so someone he could beat, and it would be a good match. It would make sense. That would be cool. Fuego del Sol. Sorry.
That's a tough one to Miro Wardlow.
That is a WrestleMania level match.
Yeah.
Damn,
I wanted Miro Brian Cage. That was like the other one.
I miss Brian
Cage. And then the Ring of Honor stuff, because like if you don't know how to put Miro with, you could put him against Jonathan Gresham, Dalton Castle. There's Roosh. There's a lot of people now. There's so many people. You got options.
There's plenty of options.
Yeah, they have nothing but options.
Man.
Yeah, nothing but.
I mean, anything else you guys want to add to this match?
Just really cool to see him there. Yeah.
I like that version of the Accolade where he sits him back like a rear naked choke. Like that's my favorite version of that move.
Yeah.
He pulls him all the way back. Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. That's so nasty looking.
Hey, Mike Hallis, any other last words for this one before I move on? Jim Ross has a vicious. He has a vicious. Oh my God!
He's a tripod. There you go. That's like an Austin Powers quote. It's like he's a bloody tripod. Like,
he's a bloody, the mini me.
Mini me, a little bit of mini me.
It's a kickstand.
My God,
Jim Ross has old man energy nowadays.
He does. Yeah, he really, really does.
No, Johnny Elite, I want to see like just more of them in general. So that's and just one-on-ones.
All right, and then of course with the jazz segment, not the JAZZ jazz, no JAS. Oh, okay. Them bragging, talking, blah blah blah. Of course. So then with the whole, then of course, finally we got to hear this man say it, and I was happy.
Blood and guts.
Because we all know how iconic it was when he said, it was like 6 years ago to the day when he said War Games.
That first one was really iconic.
Iconic NXT moments because we all just knew he was going to say it. They didn't even talk about the cages or anything. We just had a feeling. And it was kind of that was his War Games moment for AEW. And
Eddie Kingston's like, what is it? Blood and guts.
Blood and guts.
Oh man, you can just.
I'm into it, and it has to be over. And we're gonna get. I don't think we're getting a shaved Jericho, man. Dude's in a metal band. Like, don't do it.
Oh, I didn't. I did not see it. What did he say, Dan? Which I did not see. He said by
Brian Regal and Moxley. I'll see you soon. And Jericho, I'm going to fuck you up. Okay.
Oh no, I did see that part.
So Wheeler's going to be in the Blood and Guts match, right? Is it 6 versus 6?
Well, that would mean that wouldn't the Jericho Appreciation Society need to add one more?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, it could be. I don't know.
No idea. The Herbert obviously led to Santana Ortiz being held. Being down for Blood and Guts, I think there's going to be a bit of a struggle with Brian and Eddie. That could be the case too, unless one of them is out. I'm like, yeah, it's a good question. They bring back Wheeler Yuta. Who's they going to put? They need to add someone else on the JAS. But I'm excited. I mean, are you guys excited? So take it away. Are you excited for this?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely excited for Blood and Guts. The only thing I wish this time around, if it's possible, I don't know if it is possible, but if AEW could get that match to be commercial free this time, because the last Blood and Guts, I feel like was such a good match, but the momentum of the matchup kept on being interrupted by the commercials. There was a lot of commercial breaks because the match went over an hour. So you had to expect a lot of commercial breaks, but I think that did hurt that matchup. If they're able to get this Blood and Guts to be commercial free, I'm expecting a lot of big things from this.
Matt Callis.
I think Blood and Guts in general, they're gonna have to. They gotta make it commercial free. I remember watching it, and I guess they might do a matching outfits thing again. Should I say this? It's about I know everybody was kind of talking about Chris Jericho's hair and stuff like that. I mean, when Kurt Angle got shaved his head, much love to all the men that go through male pattern baldness. I don't know if it's just that's kind of the reason why Jericho's putting his hair on the line. Maybe Jericho could have an excuse to shave his head. I don't know. If that might be the reason. If not, then maybe Santana, Ortiz will have a reason to shave his head. Other than that, it'll be cool to see newer guys. Maybe somebody might switch out for Wheeler Yuta. Either Santana, Ortiz, or Eddie Kingston. Somebody's gonna switch out or something. It could even be because I think if we remember what happened with what was supposed to be the first Blood and Guts, Cody. It was originally supposed to be Cody instead of Matt Hardy, but they're just switching people out. So it could be somebody new that's debuting that could be switched in, switched out. We got a new spot, and it's right after Forbidden Door. So there you go.
Good call from Big T, though. I mean, that could be the case too. That they're probably commercial free from that main event. You never know. It could be that case. I mean, even though that'd be good. I mean, I know that Dan's saying it's a little bit risky because it's right after Forbidden Door, but I mean, I don't think it is. I feel that it's its own. That's a separate entity because that's New Japan. It's not AEW. I mean, just for itself. So I don't think it will be a risk. I think it will be fine. What do you think, Director?
About putting Blood and Guts? Is it
Yeah, right after.
Is it the name of the event and it's coming the day after Forbidden Door, or is it just a match happening on Dynamite 3 days later?
A match happening on Dynamite 3 days later. Yes.
Oh, so what are they worried about? What's the conflict of interest that people are going to watch Forbidden Door and then not watch Dynamite almost later in the week?
That and it should be commercial free.
I've never heard of that being a thing unless it was at the same exact time, in my opinion. I'm going to watch Forbidden Door. I'm going to not watch wrestling for 3 days because nothing happens on Monday. And then I'm going to go back to Dynamite on Wednesday. So, I mean, unless you're worried about like all of your wrestlers that are in AEW getting some wear and tear at Forbidden Door and not performing well on Wednesday, maybe that makes sense to me, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. And then we have, of course, the Bucks, Red Dragon, Hikuleo versus Jurassic Express, Christian, Matt Hardy, and Darby Allin. Now, this is the one where you guys mentioned Christian was frustrated. The match was solid too. I did enjoy the match. It was good to see Hikuleo. I seen him in New Japan Strong already, twice already. The guy is, for a big guy for himself, he still needs a little work, but I'm happy to see him though that making his debut again and Dynamite. But other than that, the Christian situation where you guys mentioned, it's gonna happen. I think this might be leading to Jurassic Express versus the Hardys. Maybe so, and this time the Hardys will actually win the AEW Tag Team titles. I have a feeling that they're heading that direction. Possibly maybe for All Out or maybe for that June 29th show. You never know. So, I mean, take it to you, director. What do you feel about it?
Sorry, repeat the question. That was a long paragraph.
Thoughts about the match and Christian going heel. It's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of what we meant. Wait, is this match happening or did this match happen on Dynamite?
Yeah, that happened.
What? Wait. Hold on. I watched Dynamite. Did I not see this? This is the one that I talked about where Christian said, "Don't go shake his hand," right?
Yeah.
I was okay. I was like, "Wait, did a different match happen that I was talking about?" No, okay, yeah. I did watch this, so I was like, "What the fuck happened?" Yeah, put back up the roster real quick because there's a lot of names in there. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Red Dragon, Hikuleo versus Jurassic Express, Christian.
I like the spots between Hikuleo and Lucha Dragon. Those were awesome. I'd love to see them in a singles match. We'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, the heel thing where people don't maybe people aren't thinking, in my opinion, like, oh yeah, Christian, Matt Hardy, the ladder matches, the 10-year feud in WWE. There is a thing there that can lead to them feuding. So, I mean, that's a little seed that they're planting that the hardcore long-term fans may or may not have picked up on. It's got to happen. I mean, Jurassic Express are nice guys. Marco Stunt is a very sweet kid. I love him. I can't wait I don't know what's going on with him. Hope he comes back.
I don't think he's going to come back, man. I think they're getting rid of him.
That's fine.
I think he was released, yeah.
That's okay. Whatever. Either way. But yeah, I do think the angle that we're going to see is Christian Cage pulling Jungle Boy aside, specifically Jungle Boy. He don't want none of Lucha. Hey man, like you're too nice, like you're a really good kid and everything like that, but you kind of have to be a little more of a, I think that's kind of the angle they're gonna go. Like, stop shaking people's hands. Like, kind of, I think that may be where they're going with this, and then eventually maybe Jungle Boy's gonna be like, hey man, like I get what you're saying, but that's a bit too much. Like I was cool with it, and now you're trying to push me somewhere I don't want to be, and then that becomes like the feud right there.
Right. Yeah. I do like what Big T had to say though. I hope they don't prolong it. They should just make it happen already. That's what I'm saying. That if they book it for the June 29th show, have them defending the tag titles against the Hardys, and Hardys winning it, and Christian goes ballistic, pissed off, and goes, turns on Jungle Boy, and I think takes Luchasaurus with him. You're with me now, fucker. Come here, and I just leave Luchasaurus by himself and win singles. I mean, it could be the case too. I mean, but yeah, De Niro, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, I hope they don't wait too long either. Something that I noticed was at the end of the match, Jungle Boy went for the kill switch, and that was the move that was reversed into the Meltzer driver. So I don't know. It looked like Christian Cage was a little pissed off with that too. Like he was trying to use his move because on the outside, Christian Cage gave a face like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing my move?" I have a question about Hikuleo though. Isn't he really? He's the brother of Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, right?
Yes,
he's Haku's kid, right?
Yeah.
No, he's their younger brother. So I think he showed his loyalty to Bullet Club by betraying his brothers.
I was going to ask about that because I know that Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa were kicked out of Bullet Club. So, like, I was wondering why he was still with Bullet Club. But all right, I guess it's not family over everything for him.
No, yeah, it's Bullet Club over everything.
Yeah, right. No, definitely was a good match. I felt like this was a PWG style matchup, which was needed being in front of the California crowd for the first time. So I thought that was a nice little touch, especially having Rick Knox as the referee, PWG referee, the Young Bucks, PWG legends. You have former PWG world champion and Kyle O'Reilly there. So I thought that was a little nice, like, nod to their past.
Yeah, definitely. Matt Callis, take it away.
I think whoever is sided with the Bullet Club has an overwhelming numbers advantage. Even in New Japan, they're the biggest in terms of numbers. Like, Taguchi Japan doesn't really do run-ins. They don't really do, interference a whole lot. Taguchi Japan is Tanahashi's faction. They also call it Honte. It's either like Honte or Taguchi Japan. Like, basically the good guys. And the other babyface factions is Los Ingobernables de Japón and Chaos. And even, Chaos's numbers aren't as, they're a little bit closer to Bullet Club's, but still not as many members. So you just have it's almost overkill. So you're always the underdog when you're facing Bullet Club,
Yeah.
So, and anybody could run out. It just depends on who is visiting from the USA. In terms of this, yeah, I definitely agree that they really shouldn't Julia Hart it. They got to hurry up with Christian's heel turn. I know good things come to those who wait, but at least by, I don't know, next month's pay-per-view, by Fyter Fest. If they do Fyter Fest, or they do, or if they do Death Before Dishonor, or Fight for the Fallen, at any one of those, at least not by Fight for the Fallen, maybe by Fyter Fest or Death Before Dishonor, Christian could turn heel. At least, please don't hold up on it. Just pull the trigger on it.
All right. I want to move now to Ruby Soho, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Jimmy Hayter. I know I'm skipping the Wardlow match because it didn't make for me. It's just a squash. And then, of course, Mark Sterling coming out. Oh, I'm going to sue you because, but I don't think there's much to talk about that. I'm just happy for Wardlow. He got his theme song. That's it. And the crowd was hot for him. And the way how they're introducing him is like, you're a freaking Goldberg but this is your AEW version of Bill Goldberg in a way. So I'm looking forward to see how they're going to book him and what's going to be next for him. But this women's tag team match was actually great. Yes, I agree. It was a match. It was a solid match. I really enjoyed it. I mean, seeing, Britt and Jamie Hayter, it looks a little friction because it looks like we might see them break up soon. I think we might see either Hayter, turning on Britt, or Britt will turn on Jamie. I don't know. One of them is going to turn. But this tag match was solid. I enjoyed it. So I'll take it to you, Dinero. Back to you again. So what are your thoughts about this tag match?
I really like this matchup. I saw someone put in the comments match of the night. I agree. This was a really, Big T match of the night. This was a really solid matchup. And I think it's just like a testament to show like how much the AEW women's division has grown in the past couple of years. Because now, like, you include Athena to that roster, you include Jade Cargill to that roster. You have such a stacked women's division. It's just I want to see more women matches.
Yes, absolutely. Matt Callis.
I'm not doing the fucking Dark Order thing. I had a question.
Oh, take it away.
You mentioned that you how far the women's roster has developed throughout the course of AEW. Do you think that it has developed more, and I agree with what I'm about to say, but I want to hear your opinion, that it's developed more in the past, let's just say this year, 6 months, than it did the 2 years prior to that? I think that's what I feel like. I feel like it's finally in the last 6 months done more than the first 2 years ever did.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like they were slowly progressing, and then in like the last 6 months, it felt like there's like a rocket ship on them.
Deliberately or like accidentally? Like they couldn't.
Probably accidentally because there wasn't the women that they got on the roster in the early days of AEW they were good, but now that there was a lot more talent in that free agent market, I feel like they were able to pick up some really key pieces to really fill out the holes in that division.
And I mean, a lot of the first 2 years, a lot of unknown to casuals, and I don't say casuals insultingly in pro wrestling. I'll say it in MMA for sure. But yeah, like no one, I mean, really knew Nyla Rose outside of a lot of like her TV show in Canada or Hikaru Shida. Like they had a hard time finding stars. Mrs. Cody Rhodes, Brandy, like she was like the biggest name in the division, but not the best wrestler. So like they were kind of cursed with working with what they had. And sure. I think that it's finally, like you said, becoming a stacked division with contenders. And I think all of that is they've done more in 6 months than they have in 2 years.
What? Oh, Brandon Rhodes. Oh my God. But I agree, Director. Well said. That's well said. Yes. Go ahead, Matt Callis. What you got to say? Talk to me.
Out of everyone that was listed, they all have kind of like a background in Japan. Like Jamie Hayter from Stardom, Ruby and Tony. Tony was in Stardom. Ruby's done some stuff in Japan. I think I remember is like Chris Jericho saying in his interview with Ruby, it's like bring a postcard from the hotel so you know where to go, just in case you get lost. But I think one of the main things is like is kind of, you know, you see a little bit of a lot of different styles from these wrestlers because a lot of them, like with the exception of Ruby and Tony, Britt and Jamie haven't been poisoned as no diss to WWE, haven't been as like, I don't know, indoctrinated. I'll just say indoctrinated into, you know, the WWE style of wrestling as much. So you get to see more of that, you know, Stardom style, a little bit of that Tokyo Joshi Pro style. And now there's talk from Christopher Daniels on, especially Britt Baker, sending her to Tokyo Joshi Pro to compete. You know, we're good
over there, like over in any way. The heel, they love heels. She would kill it,
especially with the gimmick, the dentist gimmick. It was
I definitely. And it's got to be the trade because, you know, I mean, we've had Thunder Rosa and Priscilla Kelly have both been in Tokyo Joshi Pro in the past. So, yes. You know, and I'm failing to mention a lot of others. Like Nyla Rose has done some stuff over there. But, you know, over time, I think that talent trade between the two companies, Tokyo Joshi Pro and AEW, is going to lead to a lot of good things happening that Christopher Daniels helped make happen. And for those not keeping track of Tokyo Joshi Pro, DDT, and Noah, their pay-per-view Cyber Fight Festival is on the 12th of this month, June 12th. And something to keep an eye out. Yeah, it's the 12th of this month, and Rob Van Dam is in that pay-per-view. Rob Van Dam is going to be.
Oh, that is right. So he's back at Noah,
and they haven't named his opponent yet. So they haven't announced who Rob Van Dam is.
It's gonna be Marufuji. It's gonna be the Great Muta.
It's gonna be Marufuji. Hey, I wouldn't rule it out if it's a hardcore match. They fought. She fought alongside Atsushi Onita in a park in front of Tokyo Tower, and then they pushed her on a shopping cart onto somebody. I don't know, all kinds of stuff they don't know.
Are you sure it's on June 12th? Are they running the same day for Dominion?
Yeah, they're competing because Noah's is like the main competitor with New Japan. They even ran a pay-per-view. Noah ran a pay-per-view simultaneously.
Oh, you're right. They are competing the same fucking day. What the hell?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Stardom ran an event at the Budokan during Wrestle Kingdom, so they're constantly competing with each other. All the Japanese wrestling company.
Oh yeah,
same training class as Jay White. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
New Zealand wrestlers, British wrestlers, Australian wrestlers. They're very, you know, Dakota Kai and Jay White and B Priestley. You know, I think Jamie Hayter and B Priestley were tag team partners in Stardom.
Yes, they were.
Yeah,
that I do remember. But
Jamie Hayter.
What?
saying a word. I'm not saying anything. Jesus. But you know, I mean, take it away, director. Yeah, take it away. I mean, what else do you have to? Anything else you want to input in this tag match with the women's?
No, it was a good match. Match of the night doesn't. I mean, it was a great match, but match of the night. I agree with that. Based on like the other matches were not. I mean, anything to put on a highlight reel, but not in a disrespectful way. The women just happened to steal the show tonight, and they did very good. A lot of veterans. These women are no rookies. They deserve to do a match like this every time they're out there, and they consistently do. And I think this spiderweb, I guess you could say, of Ruby and Tony and Britt, Jamie, and even Rebel, Don't Call Me Reba. Like, we always say, like, oh, we hope it comes to an end soon, because sometimes things go a little too long in AEW, in my opinion. And we're spoiled with shit that goes on for like 12 years in WWE. So I'll take it. But yeah, it was a good match. And I don't know what Ruby's satisfactory win is going to be. She's lost to Britt clean, I think, multiple times. She beat her once in a tag match. It doesn't really count as far as like a one-on-one record win. So I don't know what the culmination of this feud is going to be, unless it's like Tony turns on Ruby or Jamie turns on Britt.
I see Jamie Hayter turning on Britt. I think I already see that.
If Jamie turns on Britt, then you instantly have a face in Britt.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they want that. I mean, that'd be like if Kyle O'Reilly turned on Adam Cole. Well, that would make him a heel, I guess.
That'll make him a heel, yeah. Make him a heel.
But you know what I'm saying. Like, who do you want to double switch? Is that what are we gunning for here? So
I think we might see a double switch, maybe. I mean,
God, that's my favorite thing in pro wrestling, and don't waste it on something that's in my just. Not that they're not deserving of it, but it's such a mid card angle.
Yeah,
the double switch would have to be MJF and CM Punk, and that's a very easy thing to do.
Agreed.
You do that in a sentence.
Agreed. And then
they did do it in Long Island. We saw that MJF, hometown hero, CM Punk literally got booed out the building.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I think save the most precious maneuver in pro wrestling, the double switch, for something much bigger than that. So it would be Britt turning on Jamie, and then maybe Reba like, "What are you doing?" And then they take off and like, "We're sick of this shit. We don't deserve it. We're done."
Yeah, that could be the case too. I do like what Dakota Kai changed her name to King Coda on her Instagram. So she changed her name to King Coda.
And she's officially available too.
She's available now. Yeah, her 30 days are expired. She's available.
Oh, I thought you meant like she's not with.
Oh, I don't know if she's single or not.
I was like, well, I've already played.
That'd be a little creepy if I knew that. Oh, she's available, guys. Hit that DM.
You gotta put up that CM Punk reaction.
Dude, that doesn't even look like her anymore. She is a full blown e-girl.
Oh man,
yeah. She definitely changed her look.
Everything. If you show me these last 3 pages on her, like maybe not not this one because that's definitely her, but everything on the top row of her 3 grid feed and said, "Who is this?" I would fucking have no idea.
Oh yeah, she changed. Yeah, her look, everything is. She is different now. Like, oh, wow.
This doesn't even look like who she is as a person, and I'm not judging her. I'm just saying, like, I'm used to like that tomboy kind of like badass, and this is like more of like a Powerpuff Girl e-girl. You know, like again, I'm not judging. It's just wow. I want to see her in the ring or on the mic, and you know, because her personality is a lot of what made her that go get 'em kind of Bailey badass attitude, and now she catch me outside. How about that?
I think the King Coda is a direct reference to Jay White being her fellow New Zealand wrestler. He's King Switch, she's King Coda.
Well, her thing is King Coda team, effectively. She has 4,200 followers. That's absurd. Is this? Am I on the right one? That can't be right. She has to be verified with like 1 million.
Let me see.
That's a good question.
I might be on a fan page, but I mean, it's still definitely her. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was on the fan page, but it was still updated photos. So yeah, I'm King Kota is the official Instagram.
Before we get into the main event, let's answer Big T's question here. What is everyone's thoughts on Wyndham Rotunda?
Hold on, I'm still over here on the gram. Okay, I'm done.
What are your thoughts on Wyndham Rotunda is heading to AEW or back to WWE? Who wants to answer that one?
It's about time. The guy is way too talented to not be in wrestling. So I know a lot of people were scared like he was walking away, but he was just doing a movie, and I'm excited for him to come back. I don't think he's going back to WWE. I forgot if it was Roman Reigns or WWE themselves. They put a list of all the successful title defenses that Roman Reigns had for the title, and he actually responded and said, "Take my name off that shit." So, like, I don't think he would want to be back in WWE because that was fairly recent. So,
really,
I think it's probably going to be outside of WWE, whether it's AEW or not. I don't know. It's funny
control your narrative.
Yeah, maybe control your narrative. It's funny because when Julia Hart was revealed at the pay-per-view, you said how people, like little kids, were probably like, "Oh, it's Bray Wyatt." I was doing a live stream on Twitch, and literally when the lights went out, someone wrote Bray Wyatt with all caps. I'm like, come on. But no, I think it would be cool if he's in AEW. It's just that AEW has so many people on their roster already to keep on adding to it. It would be, I don't know.
Yeah.
May get lost in the shuffle.
What do you guys think, Director McCallis?
I don't know what I want. What was it? I think you referenced it. He made a tweet this week talking shit about something, like defending himself.
Yesterday, yeah. He says about that time, he said.
That's what it was. But yeah, if he can negotiate something correctly, I think he does. Oh God, with the mishandling of him though. But I mean, creatively, he was doing so well upstairs in WWE. Like, that's the right stage for him. It's the right platform for him. I don't remember the terms of his termination. Was it just under the budget cut?
Yeah.
Yep. Budget cut.
And, obviously he wins the belt at like Elimination Chamber and loses it like 3 days later and bullshit like that. Or then he like wins Rumble and then loses it to Orton. Like, I hated all of that. It never made any sense to me. She is a gamer on Twitch. I knew it. She just now looks like it. Thank you. Yeah, the resources, like, here's the thing that AEW doesn't do, and I like this, is they don't do, I mean, besides maybe very little House of Black and very little Abaddon, they don't do Supernatural, and they don't do vignettes. They do interviews, they do backstage stuff, they do very little sketches every now and then. They've done cinematic matches, but they don't do big theatrics like what they do with WWE. And I don't want it to go that route. And I'm not trying to be a purist about my AEW product, but I think there's just more things that he can do in WWE. I just hope that if he goes back, they just treat his character and his career better, because he was doing everything he wanted to do. He negotiated to have those Firefly Funhouses. He had full creative control over everything that happened with those and his character. I know that was part of the deal that he wrote. He had a friend who is like a horror movie director write and film all of the Firefly Funhouses. Like, that is as much creative control as I can think anyone's had in WWE since like Taker.
Yeah.
But they just didn't, I don't know if they just didn't like something about him. Maybe he was too over and Vince couldn't control it, which is a thing that happens. It's the right stage with the wrong people booking him. So I have no idea.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree more, man. Oh man, I still don't understand why. For me, it never got to understanding because of budget cuts that you let him go. This guy was the most hot selling, in your merchandise, especially with the action figures and the shirts and the mask,
yeah.
Like in the gloves too. Like Jesus.
What I didn't get was if that mask was number one, and I checked when he was released from WWE for budget cuts, that mask was number one on WWE shop as the top seller. So if someone is moving that much merchandise, how is he the guy you cut for budget? Like, he's making you guys money. And I don't know, like he's like you said, he was never booked right. It was just a shame.
Yeah, I think the budget cut thing is we wish him well in future endeavors of like musicians, like due to creative differences, John is no longer with the band.
Yeah.
That's what that is. I mean, we obviously know that budget cuts are just the politically correct, vague excuse for some of the questionable releases.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. And we have one more question here. The question: how many members is too many when it comes to stables? Bullet Club is so huge, and who can forget NWO going from Hall, Nash, Hogan, and having half of the WCW,
and then having 3 factions of WCW in WCW or of NWO, because you had NWO, you had Wolfpack, and you had LWO for life.
Yes,
I wasn't able to say anything about Wyndham yet.
Oh, go! I was waiting for you. Go ahead.
That's okay. We're talking about something else now.
Go ahead.
Fuck.
Go ahead, Matt. My apologies. Go ahead.
No. So the main thing about Wyndham is whether you think it's what you want, what he wants to do is the main thing that determines what, where he goes. So Cody going to WWE, he went there because he wants to get that world title. So what's more important to you? Creating your gimmick and showing it how you want it to be and having the space to do what you want, or going after that belt and being the top guy, being the world champion and being the top guy. So I don't know everything about what Wyndham wants or what his goals are. He's won the world championship already. I don't know if that's the most important thing to him anymore. So it really comes down to where will he have the space, like you said, Chris, he was having a lot of room for creative control in WWE, but he just got cut loose. So I guess AEW would be the logical place to go to kind of present it. Like they've done the theatrical stuff with Darby Allin. I think it's maybe some production might come out.
He's not shooting lightning bolts out of his ass and bats are coming out of his
ass. Exactly.
There's none of that going on. Even with Malachi, missed. It's not magic.
Yeah, and I don't know if Wyndham wants to do it or has to. I mean, it's his. It's really up to him for how he wants to display it. I guess he could create a whole new character and just present it however they're able to. It really comes down to that.
I can tell you, he's not motivated by title belts either. Because for a long time, I remember reading that for a long time, WWE wanted him to be the world champion when he first came in with the Wyatt family. And he said, it wouldn't make sense for my character to be motivated by world titles. So
he's motivated by just dark and twisted satisfaction.
Exactly, yeah.
So
there's a lot of things you could do with them on the roster.
To ever win the title because that wasn't what he was after, and it would make no sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I do recall that Dreamer never wanted to win the belt. He always booked himself not to win the belt.
Yeah,
but Heyman.
The whole point was as soon as he gets the belt, the underdog hero character is dead, and it sort of was. At the end there when he did win it eventually, because there was no one else left to give the belt to.
That's true. You're absolutely right. And Dan was saying, he didn't like because he butted heads with creative because he wanted full control, and then I think that's probably what led for his departure. Led for his firing because butting heads with Vince over his character, how you mentioned, and him. I don't think it's about the belt either. I think what he created, that Bray Wyatt character, what he did, it's insane. It's like it's a cult. It's basically like his own cult that he created, and I think that's what he I guarantee you'll probably switch it around, different mask, different look, and then probably have it like a cult, and have the cult of Wyndham, and have his own, followers. He could do that, I would love to see him going to every promotion, go to Impact, go to
AAA, Ring of Honor.
Yeah, show up unexpectedly, beat the shit out of someone, and leave, and do a vignette or something like how you mentioned the videos, They could do that. He could do that, and just bounce around in every territory, see what fits.
And
make
him versus. Imagine maybe him and Psycho Clown doing a program.
That'll be sick. That will be sick. I would love to see that. All right, main event: Moxley Garcia. Man, this match was. All I gotta say is, man, Garcia took it like a man. He took it like a champ. Yeah. Jesus, man, because he got his ass whooped when I saw that suplex into the steel stairs. Oh my god,
that was nasty.
That was a nasty.
That was
fall.
nasty.
That was the flippy one too.
Yes.
He just like tosses him.
Yes. I was like, oh, I cringe. I was. That's how it was. That's how it fucking was. But man, this is a great match. It was a great main event. I did enjoy it. I wish it could have been more, but unfortunately, because Dynamite's gonna be tomorrow on Ontario. So Rampage, excuse me. So we'll see how Rampage will be for tomorrow. But Matt Callis, take it away. Main event thoughts.
You could really compare this rivalry to the Darby Allin Cody rivalry a little bit, because Darby Allin had that first match with Cody, and then he had that second match with Cody. I think he lost that second match with Cody too, right?
That Sour Patch Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Or Code Red?
Hot Cheeto.
Hey. I never even saw
Mountain Dew.
You are still from Los Angeles.
What?
That is
I love Hot Cheetos.
I know, I do too. I'm not drinking them. I eat Takis for breakfast, bro. You see my hot sauce.
If they make a Taki soda, you will drink it.
I'll try it.
No. Hey. Stop you there. If they made a Takis Bloody Mary mix, I would drink it.
Okay, there you go.
Interesting. I'll try both. It sounds interesting.
I've
a little bit of calorie.
My entire life, but I'm pretty sure this is what that feels like.
Yeah. The best was Dax, who said, well, I did do those things. And
yes, it does feel like that. I loved that. He had to totally see Block the Sober Society.
Yep.
Bringing it back all over again. So, yeah, I'm thinking maybe third time. It's going to be third time. They tied the first match, then Cody won the second. Okay, yeah, I think it was a time limit draw between Cody and Darby. Maybe it might be a draw or a win for Daniel Garcia, the third one around. The third one around will probably be Daniel Garcia gets the payback, because he put a lot of damage on Moxley this time around. So he's just going to keep getting better and better every time. And we'll probably see the same kind of thing with Wheeler Yuta. Whenever these guys, these underdogs, will get a little bit more progress on their past opponents. And who knows, maybe the fourth match, he's going to send Moxley to the hospital. Kayfabe. The kayfabe hospital. The same hospital Shaquille O'Neal went to.
All right. De Niro, your thoughts?
It was definitely a good match. Brought a lot of violence. I wasn't expecting to see such a violent match coming right after the pay-per-view, which was a very violent match. But no, they had a really good match, and
it was violent.
It was violent, especially like you said, that suplex release onto the steel steps, and it looked like Daniel Garcia landed on like his shoulder on the steel steps, like he could have tore his shoulder. That was just nasty. But shout out to Daniel Garcia. He definitely has grown a lot since being with Chris Jericho. I feel like Chris Jericho is probably taking him under his wing. If you remember, like the early days of AEW, the first AEW Dynamite, we seen Sammy Guevara come out. He had the panda head. He looked like kind of out of place. And then when he was with Jericho in the Inner Circle, you could just see him start to grow every week. He was getting more and more like comfortable with who he is. And I feel like that's what we're seeing now with Daniel Garcia. I'm expecting big things from Daniel Garcia, and I thought that this was a pretty good matchup.
Indeed. A good call. Good reference, because you're right. It's like when Jericho helps you develop that charisma character you need to take out, it helps you find it. And he's done it with Sammy, how you mentioned. Yes, he did. And now Sammy has this egotistic, my hot girlfriend type of style. Like your high school pretty much jock for me. I mean, that's how I see him. But he should go heel. I don't know why they're not heels. But that's a different story. But
I think he definitely is a heel. He's just, they haven't did a full traditional heel turn. But the fans hate him, and he knows it, and that's why he keeps on shoving it in everyone's face. So I feel like he's definitely a heel. That's heel tendencies.
Hell yeah. Director.
I don't know where AEW is buying their furniture from, but they're absolutely not buying shit that breaks.
Yeah.
They ain't buying them Stuntman tables or ringside booths or anything like that.
And
a hard time.
Built to last.
Yeah,
more Flanagan's. They're getting their tables.
At Double or Nothing, the fucking was like a power bomb to the outside. Shit didn't break. Like the stairs aren't breaking. Someone got speared into like the ring announcer's table ringside. That shit didn't break.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's not intentional that they don't break, but I kind of like it. It's kind of like, yeah, that shit does not break. If you ever were a high school kid with friends who backyard wrestled and tried to do any of that shit, you'd be like, why didn't that table break, motherfucker? Because it's not supposed to. We didn't take the frames off. We didn't gut the guitar before smashing them over people's heads. Like, that's how shit really acts. And those stairs weren't the soda can stairs that people use up north where, you know, like, remember when I think Kane threw, like, a staircase at, like, Austin or someone like that, and, like, it just clunked them, and it didn't even make a noise because it was made out of aluminum foil. Like, we're not getting that right now. And those are the real stars of the match are those bumps through the non-breakable furniture.
Oh, man. Shout out to Joe in the Ring, though. What's going on, Frank? Make sure you subscribe to Joe in the Ring, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. But, man, this match had a lot of
aggression.
That's what it had. It had a lot of ruthless aggression. Man, I'm looking forward to this Blood and Guts. I am looking forward to how they're going to book it. And who they're gonna take out, and then you got the hair versus hair, I believe, coming up as well next Wednesday. So I'm pretty stoked for the new chapters for AEW, but also what's gonna happen for Forbidden Door. Who are they gonna book, and that's gonna be intriguing to see. So I'm looking forward to see what will happen with Forbidden Door. Rampage, of course, tomorrow. You have the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks, of course, another SoCal match right there. Scorpio Sky versus Dante Martin for the TNT Championship. Kiera Hogan versus Athena making her debut. So are you guys excited for seeing Athena making her debut on AEW tomorrow, gentlemen?
Most definitely.
Yes. Matt Callis, are you excited? Are you excited?
Got a lot of tools in the arsenal. I want to see the full arsenal. Arsenal. Arsenal shouldn't be that hard to say. Arsenal.
Arsenio Hall. Arsenio Hall.
I missed that show.
What about you, Director? Are you excited for Athena's debut tomorrow, Rampage?
I am excited for how many variations of the Eclipse we're going to get to see.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that shit off a balcony through a table or off of Sammy Guevara onto Tay Conte. Like, that shit's going to be buck wild. I'm excited. Absolutely.
Most definitely, yeah.
Because they're in Ontario, California, the home.
There's no days off to record.
No, and this is the home of the Bucks because they're from Rancho Cucamonga.
Home of workaholics.
Ontario. Right next to the Ontario Mills Mall. Like literally. Ontario Airport. 15 miles.
Montclair and Claremont.
Near me in Pomona.
Only 626.
I could walk to Rampage in probably an hour and a half.
Hey man, tickets are on sale now. They're hella cheap right now. I'm thinking of buying them, but I can't not business work. I have one of the biggest questions here. I know now that we're done with AEW, but here's one that I want to ask. It's only a pro wrestling news. But what I'm noticing, so WWE signed a MMA Bellator fighter named Valerie Loretta. Chris,
are you trying to say Valerie Letourneau?
Is that her last name, Loretta? Right?
Loretta. Oh, Loretta. I see. Okay, yeah. Loretta.
Yes.
Your thoughts? Yeah, I just found out about this right now. Loretta is very marketable in every aspect. She can fight. She can be on camera. I think she's got a thick Brazilian accent. I don't know if her mic skills are going to be any better than. Tay Conte's pretty legible or intelligible, so that's good. I'm going to fact check her nation of origin though, because I don't want to get that wrong.
Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this, and I want everybody's thoughts on these. We're seeing a lot of MMA fighters transitioning into professional wrestling.
We just saw Paige Van Zandt, yeah. Yeah,
Paige Van Zandt as well is another one that just is transitioning to that. Do you feel that this is, do you feel it's as us that we love pro wrestling and MMA, of course, too, you think it's the right move for these fighters to do that and I mean, how do you think the world, pretty much in professional wrestling, the talent themselves feels about that? Do you feel that they feel like, hey, you're coming and taking my spot? I mean, what's your thoughts of this transition, seeing a lot of MMA fighters going to professional wrestling? So go ahead, Badinero, you tell me your thoughts.
I mean, I like it. It brings legitimacy to professional wrestling. And also, I mean, it's just like anything else. Like, there's a lot of wrestlers who come from football, and there's a lot of wrestlers that come from other sports. MMA is just another sport that, people may transition into wrestling. Yeah, I mean, we've seen some that didn't work. Like, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how Alistair Overeem does, because he's a part of that WES promotion.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, some of the biggest names, Ronda Rousey, whether you love her or hate her, she's a draw in the WWE. Even if you want to go all the way back, Ken Shamrock was a big deal in the Attitude Era. He transitioned pretty well. Now we're seeing Paige Van Zandt. I thought Paige Van Zandt looked good during the pay-per-view. She might need some work on selling, but it's only her first match. So when we have wrestlers who come from the MMA world, I don't really it doesn't really matter where you come from, as long as what you're here now and you're, paying wrestling the proper respect and doing what you got to do to be a good professional wrestler. Look at someone like Matt Riddle. Riddle's doing really well. He's on top of the world right now in the WWE. So I feel like, it's not a problem. And for the wrestlers in the back, if you feel that, somebody in MMA may take your spot, well, what do you feel about like football players and basketball players who come over? And it's like, listen, your spot is not in jeopardy if you're doing your thing, if you're busting your ass and working hard. You're only fearing your spot if you're not that guy on top.
And it goes both ways, because obviously CM Punk, went over to UFC, tried his hand at that, and obviously they have the same opinion. Who the fuck's this guy coming in over on our turf? So
Brock Lesnar, same thing. He was hated when he went to the UFC.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So check this out. Here's a fun stat for you that I like to pull out. Most of the WWE superstars that have ever been in the UFC have held titles in the UFC. Most of the WWE superstars, I'm going to say something like 6 out of 8 of them have held championships over there. Dan Severn, Ken Shamrock, Ronda Rousey, Brock Lesnar. That's 4. That's enough. So the only WWE superstars who have never held the title over there, Tony Halme, who, aka Ludwig Borga, lost to Randy Couture in the UFC in his first fight, and then CM Punk. And then, Matt Riddle. And that's it. Matt Riddle's a little bit new to the stats, but that's it. So most of, they've earned their keep in one way or the other. And yeah, I get like the fame shame game where like you didn't do this or that. Well, fight them for it. I mean, yeah. You're not taking money. It's like music. Like your success doesn't, I don't know, I could be wrong. It kind of may not apply, but their success doesn't mean not yours. But I guess it kind of does when it comes to Vince, because, Brock is way more famous than some people and such and such. So Ronda coming over, yeah, obviously makes a lot of sense that she got some hate, but she did bring a lot of eyeballs to the product and collateral success for all the women below her. So
Dan answered your question.
And yeah, I looked it up. She is Cuban American. I think I was thinking of someone else as far as.
And Jake Hager is in Bellator.
Bellator, exactly.
No, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was in MMA too. Like he was really well. Yeah.
Well, that is true. Yes, Dan Severn was an NWA World Champion for NWA too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Dan Severn at one point had like 20 titles from 20 different companies.
When he first debuted in WWE, he came out with all the belts too, like Ultimo Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, the NWA belt. He had the UFC title. Yeah.
Yeah, he even had the Smoky Mountain title too.
Yeah.
Matt Kaz, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about that?
I also think about you definitely mentioned wrestlers going to MMA going to wrestling. There's also MMA going into acting, and then wrestlers going into acting. That would be, other than wrestling, my other field of expertise is film. Because I have background acting and stuff like that, and TV and writing and all this kind of things. I was just thinking about Randy Couture in The Expendables, and I haven't seen him in much other things other than that. The whole road in The Expendables.
Scorpion. He's in Scorpion King. He beat the Scorpion King, right?
The straight to DVD one, right?
Yeah.
Josh Barnett was in both MMA and wrestling, and I was won championships in both. Yes. Mm-hmm. Tom Lawler too. He's there too. Tom.
Suzuki.
I'll say this about acting. I sometimes it's really just up to like producers and directors on who, because when it comes to like raw talent, I really think like both Steve Austin and Jericho are just as like funny and witty and have just as much acting chops as The Rock, but the dice didn't really come out the same way, or maybe The Rock just hustled harder. Who knows? Some people just got a different lucky break over the years. I haven't seen Ronda as like, a major movie star yet, or, there's some MMA guys that I think would be so funny on film. I'm imagining McGregor as like in a comedy, Conor McGregor in a comedy, or Matt Riddle in a comedy. My God.
Well, yeah, Matt Riddle makes sense, but Conor would. Yeah. I don't think his ego would let him do something like that.
American was a bad guy in part 2. Okay, so he was in part 2. I didn't even see part 2 of Scorpion King. I
didn't know there was a part 2.
I didn't know there was a part 2 either.
Neither.
I did not know that, but
The Rock wasn't in it, right? No, right?
No, wait, no.
Rock was the Scorpion King. Yeah, he was the bad guy in the first one, and then the good guy, which was the prequel, in like the second one.
Oh yeah, and Triple H was in Blade Trinity. Triple H was in Blade Trinity, but nobody remembers.
Juggling Thunder Cunt. Yes. that's actually a line from that movie said by Triple H. I don't want to know why I know that.
It was a funny movie when it came out.
Yeah, funny bad.
We can see Connor maybe transition to wrestling.
Who the fuck is that guy?
We can see Connor maybe. They're like,
American Pie.
They're like 5 Scorpion King shape. Are you serious? There's 5? Wow. What? I did not know that. Wow. I have to look for this shit. You know what? I'm curious. Who the fuck is playing them? That's what I want to know. Who the hell is playing them? Oh, my goodness, man. What a hell of a show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Word. Man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, because it's that time.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
That always gets Matt going. I don't know.
It's the noise.
I used to be able to do it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, that's like.
And don't forget to subscribe to our brother in the Wrestling Delorean Podcast, man. Use the description right below. And of course, Mike, we love you, man. Appreciate you for coming on. Like I said, man, you're always welcome to come anytime, man. If you want to come next week too, come on out.
I'm with it always. Thank you so much,
Mike. I was literally thinking of making some videos at the Point of Hills Mall and just making videos. This is where they shot that scene.
I would love that.
Yeah. No, stay right there. I got this. I can. Hold on. Give me a second here.
It's right in front of the JCPenney, I think. It was either the JCPenney or the Macy's. It's on one side of the mall. I think there's like a Raising Cane's.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you, Dan.
That's on the west side. Raising Cane's is west side by the freeway. I got this.
It's on the. You got a video, Chris, or a picture?
Want to appreciate Dan, Brian,
there it is.
Everyone for Show for the Ring for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, the Rawson 24-hour fitness, and that.
Yeah, and then that's literally where the fire was when they Libyans.
That's awesome.
I don't know how they found me, but they did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Picture's
like 10 years old.
Thanks for pulling it up, though. That's really cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had that on my Facebook. I just had to search up Point of Hills.
There you go. That is right, because tonight it was some good,
such good shit.
And speaking of that, let's see what else. Let's see. Yes, I know it is 1 a.m. Yo, it's 1 a.m.
Not for us.
It's 10 o'clock here in our time, and I know it's 1 o'clock in New York time.
It is 1 a.m. here.
All right, brother, but I appreciate it. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to subscribe to the Wrestling Delorean Podcast. If not, I'm going to send Matt or Chris.
Take me to the son of a bitch. Take me to him. Come on. Go.
It'll make sure for you to subscribe. Remember, over here, Circle Debate, we end the League of Extraordinary Podcast and the Wrestling Delorean Podcast. Of course,
We make movies.
we make movies, all right? Just remember that.
Movies.
Absolutely. And of
Yeah,
course,
most definitely. Thank you, guys.
man, I appreciate you very much. And of course, let me see what I want more. Yes, I know. Yes, we do make movies. Then do not forget to follow these other individuals as well. My other hosts, of course, the director himself, Mr. Matt Callis himself, Mr. 69, Mr. Matty Tanahashi, man, the one that always
Will
Over and over.
make
Over and over.
history.
Over and over and over.
and we do make history. And of course, the director himself makes a hell of a history because I'm gonna have to look for his new one now because now he's asking me to look for the state. That's right.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You already know it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for everyone for tuning in, and all of us who are audio platform subscribers, listeners. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week with another one, of course, as we're on the road, and another one,
Another
and,
one.
and another one. We'll be
Victoria's
back
TNT. Oh, and another one.
and another one, and because we will be recapping, of course, Dynamite, and of course, we will be on the road for Dominion. So Matt and I will cover that as well. That'll be coming up next week as well for New Japan Dominion, which I'm excited for that. Let's see, wearing that Alexa Bliss t-shirt.
In the video for Let's Crash, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Make sure you subscribe. Also follow Fate Destroyed. Man. You gotta, if you're out
Do
there,
what you gotta do, man. We're out. We're on the talk. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Hit us up. It's easy. You can Google us. Like, you don't even have to worry. It's like all right there.
that's right.
Or go out and follow.
Yes. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, and we will catch you guys on the next one.